What's up guys, my name is Ace, and yesterday we got a very small update in Black Ops 7 that came with a couple key gameplay balancing related changes, and so in today's first video, I just wanted to blast through these changes and show you guys exactly what's different pre-patch versus post-patch. And diving right into a couple miscellaneous things here. On the map Scar, they address a location where players could leave the intended play space. For private matches, they added the ability to play sticks and stones in private matches, and also in Search and Destroy private match, they addressed an issue where the round would only end when the time limit is reached if a player switched teams at the start of a round. So those ones pretty basic, probably didn't affect 99.9% of you out there. Now let's talk about the balancing that took place here. And we got the final nail in the coffin for the Akimbo Akita shotguns. The first thing they did is they addressed an issue that was causing pellets to travel about half a meter farther than intended. So we were getting that extra half meter of range that we weren't supposed to get, so they nerfed that by half a meter. And then on top of that, when using Akimbo on this, you now have a 10% damage penalty. And as far as what that looks like in-game, well, at the maximum range at which we're able to deal damage to enemy players, which is about 9 meters, pre-patch, I remember being able to get a 7-shot kill at this range, whereas post-patch, it's a 9-shot kill now. So you can definitely see that damage reduction taking place there. But then on top of that, I wanted to see where our new 2-shot kill range is. And as we can see, it's just 0.9 meters. And keep in mind, with Akimbo, even though it's a 2-shot, it's like a 1-shot because you can fire both guns at the same time. But now you essentially have to be touching the enemy player in order to get that, like, quote-unquote 1-shot kill by firing both of these guns at the same time. So taking a look at this in a range chart, I'm going to go through the history of this. So this is what it looked like with their launch stats compared to the December 12th update that we got last week. And that was quite a big nerf. And now this is what we're seeing after yesterday's update. It's just that much worse. I really think this particular nerf was overkill, but I'm guessing this was probably still overused in like tiny map playlists, like in Face Off, for instance, or Nuketown 24/7. That's my guess as to why they decided to nerf these as hard as they did. And as I said, this is the final nail in the coffin for this. I already thought they nerfed it more than enough in the previous updates, and the single Akita was far more powerful at that point. And I even said in that video, there's no real good reason to use the Akimbo version outside of just messing around for fun, because the single Akita is just objectively better. And that's even more true now that they've nerfed it again. So that was the first gameplay balancing adjustment they made here. The next one is going to affect a lot of people. They nerfed the Stimshot. And what they say in the patch notes here is they reduced the healing rate of Stimshot from 160 HP per second down to 80 HP per second. So they cut that in half. And here's what it looks like in game. Keeping in mind, I'm simulating what it looked like pre-patch just so I have that perfect pre-patch versus post-patch comparison with the exact same amount of damage dealt, instead of trying to pull footage from an old gameplay or something like that. But you can see, if you took 97 damage, pre-patch from the moment the stim activated to the moment you reached full health again, this was just 600 milliseconds. Whereas post-patch, it's now double that amount at about 1200 milliseconds. And here's just another way to look at it here so you can see how much of a difference this makes. Keeping in mind this is played in real time, it definitely takes noticeably longer to get back up to full health once the stim activates, but realistically, this is still a very powerful piece of equipment. And I know this may be controversial to some of you to say, but even as somebody that uses the Stimshot on nearly every single loadout that I use, I do think this was an appropriate nerf, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they take it a little bit further in the future. But especially just looking at this particular nerf, I think this is going to be great for those situations where you get somebody low health and like practically between bullets fired, they go from very low health all the way back up to full health because of the Stimshot. That was too fast in my opinion. I've definitely run into a lot of frustrating situations where it's like, I'm definitely going to win this gunfight. Oh no, he's already at full health again immediately, and now I lose the gunfight. And I'm sure that's happened plenty of times from the enemy's perspective while playing against me as well. It's just from your own perspective, you may not really see it that way and see how frustrating that is from their end. So while looking at the numbers in the patch notes and seeing they literally doubled the amount of time it takes to get back up to full health, that seems like a very drastic nerf to the Stimshot. But at the end of the day, comparing that to not using the Stimshot at all and waiting for the health regeneration to take place after 3.5 seconds of a delay, and that's just to start your health regeneration, then your health regenerates at a rate of about 40 HP per second, which is still half of the post-patch rate of the Stimshot. At the end of the day, this is still a very powerful piece of equipment that I will still be using on nearly every single loadout that I use because it just suits my more aggressive playstyle. I like getting back in the fight immediately after taking damage, after winning a fight, and the Stimshot allows me to do that even after this update. I think it's just going to cut down a little bit on those really frustrating situations where it just seems like an enemy goes from very low health to almost instantly back up to full health. Now, of course, that's just my opinion, and I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about this little update that we got yesterday to the Akimbo Akita shotgun, as well as the Stimshot? Do you guys think these were good changes, or maybe not so much? If you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.